Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. Shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today? I don't know what we're going to talk about today. It's a Sunday, not really much has happened. What have I done earlier today? I recorded some Talos Principle, did a bit of drawing, going to continue doing some drawing after this. Played some games, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying, I guess, I don't know what I did, but it's just yeah, I mean, it's a relaxed day, nothing particularly eventful happening, which is good. You can't always have something eventful happening, otherwise that's perhaps, excuse me, a bit too much going on right now. Hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 5:24 PM on Sunday, October 10th, 2021. There isn't any news to speak of today, so we'll go about our usual business as per usual. I finished watching all of My Hero Academia yesterday, or the episodes at least. I still have the second and third movie to watch at some point, which I will do, probably. So it's not quite everything. I just noticed there's these weird marks or whatever on my monitor. We had a weak spot of handicrafts we've had this letter before. I'm just trying to, clean my monitor so it doesn't have these weird things on. What even is this? I don't know. It's where you get a microfibre cloth when you start cleaning these sort of things, I do like cleanliness. I don't know what this is, to be honest. Hopefully it's nothing all that weird. It's probably some gunk that has just been strangely attached to my monitor, which, it happens. Make sure to clean things you have often, just so they don't fall into one, disrepair, and two, don't become some sort of infestation site for bacteria or germs or anything like that. Monitors are always kind of weird to clean, I think, because you're meant to be kind of delicate with them at the front, otherwise, that's literally the screen which produces these light things on them. Pressing into them doesn't feel like it's a particularly effective, well, not effective solution, particularly good solution. We need to chop a tree, fruits, bugs. It always feels a little bit weird, because then you kind of have to, because these things are sort of more caked on than your average dust, which is much easier to brush off with a microfiber cloth. It's a bit more I don't know particularly what it is. Some sort of substance. And pressing into it to scrape it off feels very, very weird to do it on such a delicate sort of part, I suppose, of a computer. Not the most delicate part. I mean, there's definitely a little bit of give you have in a computer monitor that other things like, you say, the CPU socket won't particularly give you, but a CPU socket is hopefully something not something you have to clean particularly often. I don't even clean my computer all that often. What I really need to be careful of is that not too much dust accumulates inside. But I've got dust of a filter, which is different from this computer monitor case compared to my previous ones. I've got a bit of a dust filter on top, which would hopefully prevent the majority of the dust coming in to the computer, and thus give me a little bit of breathing room when it comes to being able to keep the inside of it completely clean. Although, bear in mind, I haven't also cleaned it for quite some time now, so perhaps there's a little bit of it's time for a little bit of a cleaning, is basically all I really want to say. But it's not well, I don't know, maybe it's just because this monitor in particular has a bit of a squishy screen, it's one of those screens where you touch it on the front, and it's not got a glass paneling or anything, but you can sort of see the ripple effects of what happens when you touch it. I don't know what that's from, or what it's called, LCD screen maybe? Liquid crystal display, so it makes sense that there'd be something rippling under there if there's a liquid thing to that effect. I don't particularly know, to be honest, but that is my assumption. But yeah, I mean, some things you just don't really think to clean all that often, to be honest. You got your usual dusting and sweeping, and vacuuming up the floor. At least I had to vacuum, perhaps a bit more often than you might expect. I do have a carpet flooring; it's not floorboards that I'm currently resting my feet on. But I do have kind of long hair, and I honestly haven't cut my hair for quite a long time. So it's getting to the point where it's getting, I assume, kind of damaged, and some of it's falling out in excess because it's not been thinned down or anything like that. Not a hairdresser. Don't shoot me. I don't know what I'm talking about necessarily. So sometimes hair gets sort of stuck into the carpet, and you need a bit of a good cleaning on the carpet just to make sure that all the hair gets pulled out. When I say it like that, it sounds like I'm putting it out of something's head. I'm not. It's just a bit of spring cleaning. But yeah, because it's quite a common thing you can buy, like these microfiber cloths to clean your computer monitor, right? And I always wonder because I always feel like that's for a different type of computer monitor compared to ones I have, which, you know, like the glass ones or like the microfiber cloths on like your phone screen makes a lot more sense, I think, because it's quite hard. It can give out sort of resistance back, so you can actually use that to sort of clean things up properly. The problem I find with sort of squishy computer monitors is that it's a bit more, you know, I don't actually know if it's causing problems if I'm pressing into the screen, and I assume it is slightly, but not. If it's not having that big of an effect, it can't be too big a problem. But it's the sort of thing where I try and be rather careful with it, because I'm like, I don't really want to, you know, break a monitor. What monitor do I have, do you might ask? I forget what it's called. It's probably written on here somewhere. Hold on. Asus VG248QE. I've got two of them in front of me. You might say it's a bit of an outdated monitor, and it is apparently. When I bought it the first time, it was like, this is a very really good like budget monitor, and then I bought a second one just to match them up because I didn't want two different monitors. And by the time I bought the second one, I talked to a friend about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is a bit like outdated now. Not really worth it." But you know, it's a price you pay for having two matching monitors rather than having two different monitors, and it's not like it's much of an adjustment or anything. It's just, I suppose I like it aesthetically a bit better when it's matching rather than wearing sort of odd socks. You can tell I'm not really the sort of person to wear odd socks on purpose. Well, sorry, unless it's on purpose. I don't very deliberately, unless it's very deliberately for the outfit I'm wearing, which is not particularly often, because it's not particularly often you see the socks I'm wearing, unless, you know, you wear like longer like thigh high socks or things like that. But yeah, I don't really know where I was going with this. Oh yeah, you can get these like microfiber cloths, and it always strikes me as interesting because I saw the form they're always sold in, and apart from, you know, the regular just default cloth form, is you can always get these like little creatures, like plushy like creatures who have like sort of magnets on them, and you like can, or like Velcro or something, you like rest it on top of your monitor or something, and then you use that to sweep it up. And I've kind of got one of those. I have like a panda. I have like a mini whiteboard behind me. It's very small. It's like about A3 size maybe, and maybe a bit bigger than A4. I can't exactly tell. And I have a panda on there which I use as sort of like a dry erasable eraser. You might say, hey, that seems a bit weird to use a panda. Isn't that going to dirty it and make it like look like a black bear in the end? And yeah, you're right. I don't think it was actually meant to be a razor. It's just meant to be like a regular old magnet. But I use it kind of as a razor. Just because, I guess. There's not really much to it. I just noticed our character doesn't take off our shoes when we go swimming. So we've been swimming in these waterlogged Uggs this entire time. Can't be particularly comfortable. But yeah, I have one of those. But I don't think it's a microfiber cloth or anything. And you don't particularly need a microfiber cloth to really remove dry erase marks on a whiteboard. That's kind of like the point. They're meant to be dry erase, right? You can just do it quite easily. But wait, hold on. Did we get 3 deep sea creatures? We did. Okay, talk to people. Bugs sell fruit. Okay, that can be done. Yeah, where was I going with this? But isn't it like, I don't know if it's actually a big deal or not having magnets near screens, but it is. It is meant to be, right? Having a magnet near a screen can sort of mess it up and give you like dead pixels and completely screw things over. I don't know if that's like an outdated sort of idea I have about the thing, but it's kind of like that's my impression of what using magnets near technologies. Like, I'm always like, I don't want to put magnets near technology, despite the fact that by the way there definitely are magnets in things like phones, I believe. Or at least, at the very least, there are magnetic fields induced by the electrical currents passing through them, whether they be rather small or not. They exist in the first place, so obviously technology has some sort of shielding effect against magnets, some sort of like mild magnetic effects aren't really going to affect it too much, but so at some point, you know, someone told me, you know, keep magnets away from technology and that sort of thing, unless you want to break your technology, and that's very much stuck with me. I assume what it's meant to be is much more about stronger magnets. You know, like you wouldn't put your neodymium magnet right next to your CPU. I don't know if it'll actually do anything, but I mean, there's not really much reason to in the first place, so why would you? I guess. But it's different with screens, right? Because screens, at least LCD screens, and you know, liquid crystal displays, as they have. Isn't the liquid like Is it the liquid's magnetized, or there's something in it is polar? So actually, like putting magnets near it can actually kind of screw everything up somehow. I'm not quite sure on the details exactly how that works, but it is a thing I am sort of vaguely aware of. Sorry, my head's kind of itchy. And because of that, you know, just don't want to keep magnets nearby. So it's a bit weird that there's sort of like not dry erase pads, microfiber cloth things that you can get, which are meant to be always easily accessible, and that sort of thing, have magnets in them in the first place. But I assume it's the same reason that you're probably not meant to use microfiber cloths to clean these sort of things in the first place. Maybe you just use like a regular wet wipe, and well, maybe not a wet wipe, I know. Anything liquid near electronics also makes me go, Despite the fact that things like alcohol, like, kind of fine, if it, like, as long as it's a non-conductive liquid, should be okay. But isn't like pure ethanol like slightly polar, if I remember? And I'm really stretching back in my chemistry knowledge. Actually, maybe it's not. I don't think it is now I think about it. But like, I know. I'm trying to think, because Linus Tech Tips, who I used to watch, I don't watch anymore, made like this underwater computer, didn't they? And it's completely fine. They like submerged it in. I don't even know what we submerged it in, but it was something which was non-conductive. A see-through, non-conductive, kind of actually surprisingly viscous liquid, which I think it was some sort of oil. Is oil not like slightly polar? I can't remember. Is it wait, is it common for liquids to be polar or not common for liquids to be polar? I don't remember. And maybe it doesn't even matter, I suppose. But either way, so I feel like I don't particularly clean my computer monitors nearly as much as perhaps I should, you know. They definitely get the short straw, you know. What gets a long straw? And that's not really how you describe it, things. But what's a computer part I clean certainly the most often? Oh, bell cricket we had to catch. That's quite amusing. I didn't even realise. Chop wood. It is certainly the top of a computer case. Right now it's kind of dusty, but that's because most of the time that's where dust accumulates on the computer, well, at least on the outside of a case. It makes sense, you know, gravity. That's really the only place it can sort of logically stay held. While in other locations, like it's not like it's going to stick to this glass I've got on the side of my computer casing. It doesn't really make sense, and other things like that. And it's also like one of the easiest places for me to see, you know, because that, to be fair, is white on top. So anytime I see dust accumulating, I'm like, oh, you know, starting to get kind of dirty. I'll just grab a simple tissue and just wipe it down. So it usually stays rather clean. I will say it's a bit dusty right now. Would I clean it? I guess I should. Grab a tissue from a tissue box. Really, maybe I should just get one of those microfiber cloths to actually clean things in the first place. You know, this is what happens now. I'm just cleaning with dust on my computer. And also, a lot of dust accumulates on my computer mouse, to be honest, for sort of cable. I guess because the cable goes back and forth, brushing over the top of my desk. It picks up dust as it goes back and forth and slowly accumulates it. But annoyingly, the dust gets kind of like caught onto the fibrous part of my mouse. Oh, there's even stuff on the underside of my mouse. Crazy, huh? Just make sure I'm not clicking anything random. I just click the back button of my mouse. I've got some random hair on my desk. You know, just clean it all up. Clean desk, clean mind, as they say. I don't know if anyone says that. I believe Confucius once said that. Clean desk, clean mind. There's a lot of dust at the back of my desk over there. I can see it, but you know, if I just ignore that problem, maybe it'll go away. Maybe I should get one of those like hand vacuums or whatever. Start cleaning things up. Because sometimes it's like, what do I need? Do I need a microfiber cloth? Do I need a little hand duster, a feather duster? Because honestly, maybe the best combination is a feather duster plus like a little hand vacuum. Get like all the dust off of whatever you're trying to clean in the first place, and then proceed to vacuum it all up. It's like sometimes when I used to, because you're not when I used to clean my computer, you're not meant to like stick a vacuum directly in bed, because it's something like the static electricity between like the friction of like the air that the vacuum's moving, and it can sometimes cause like little sparks which would short circuit your computer, which is not exactly ideal. But I have like this air compressor thing which can like, oh no, puff out a load of air, and sometimes I just hold a vacuum like within the vicinity of the computer and just be like puff out all the dust and have it like catch it midair, which I can't imagine is particularly good for the lungs, but I suppose that's something I'd be more concerned with if I had like asthma or something, but I suppose fortunately I don't. So perhaps I sort of lack, not lack luster really. What am I looking for? Lackadaisically. I'm just clean things up just like that. Yeah, my monitor's always different. Like I will say, isn't it something about? There's probably something different to do with like the stickiness of how easy dust sticks to different materials. Because I feel like my computer monitors get far more dusty than my phone ever does. I keep my phone clean, the computer screen clean. Like my parents don't, for their own particular reasons. They probably don't care about it as much. And sometimes their phone screen could be a bit sticky, and I'd be like, oh, I'd hate using my phone like this if it felt like this the entire time. My phone is pristine. Look at that. Velvety smooth, and it helps me do slide notes in any rhythm game songs I end up playing. So perhaps that's part of a contribution. Just make sure we had 3 more coconuts in our pockets, which we can. Wooden block. Those are both kind of difficult to make, I think. Maybe drinking fountain's not that bad. Yeah, it helps me do slide notes in music in rhythm games, which by the way should definitely do a little bit of auto mode going on in some of these games, because that's a lucky thing that a lot of these modern day rhythm games have now, is they've got an automatic mode, so you don't actually need to play the game, but you can still get the benefits of grinding things out. And you might say, what's the point of that? Why would you do that if you don't even play the game? Well, I do like playing the game. I just like playing the game during the events and when there's actually much reason to play the game. I don't like playing the game as much in between the events when there's not really much reason, but it would be beneficial if you did do it, so you can like get some materials and that sort of thing. So that's why I'm using the auto mode. And Animal Crossing's been so like casual nowadays anyway. I sort of just do whatever I want during them in the first place, including like right now when I'm gonna turn on auto mode. Oh, I've only got 1 more auto mode for today in Project Sekai, but that's fine. The day will reset at 8 PM, I think. Oh, this reminds me, the concerts I'm meant to start in Project Sekai. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's because Project Sekai is a mobile game, but one of the defining features they have in it is you can have like these virtual concerts on your phone, where you like, I suppose it's meant to be like a virtual reality concert, except for you look through in your phone. And I always thought that was a really cool concept, but I don't really pay too much attention to it. But by attending them, you can get some set and drops and that sort of thing. Yeah, this is the gacha game update. Shiny Colours update will come in 2 days. What are we expecting? I don't know if we're expecting a limited or not, actually, for the next banner, but either way I'm unlikely to be putting on the next banner because Noctil and Austramelia have all had their limiteds for this rotation, so I'm all good. I'm just waiting for Tenka 7 and Tank and Amana 4 and Chuki 5 reruns eventually. Or eventually not, I don't know how that may shake up. Let me think, what am I doing? What are we doing? We are getting fossils, crafting things, planting it. Oh, that's what I was doing over here. I wanted to plant a coconut tree. Under the coconut tree waits for me. I suppose we could make a drinking fountain as well. What else happened in gacha games? Starlight Stage? Anything happening? No. New event will start up soon. The last event, the live parade, happened quite recently. It's actually the most I've ever grinded out in one of those events, just through natural means rather than actually using stamina potions about something. Genshin, next update's coming out. Tartaglia, Hu Tao, reruns. I'm actually going to pull for Tartaglia. I've decided in the end. Didn't want him the first time round. Well, I wasn't playing the first time he came round. Didn't want him the second time round. Third time round, I was like, alright, I'll give you a shot. And mainly because there's not too many characters on the horizon I wanted. Albedo and Ye, those are the only 2 ones. If you're a bit of it in the Genshin know-how, you'll know what I'm talking about. I can't talk about gacha games this early. We've still got like 10 minutes left of the episode. But anyway, microfiber cloth. You know what microfiber cloths are really good for? Cleaning glasses. Probably the best thing in the world at cleaning. Well, okay, maybe not the best thing in the world at cleaning glasses, but let's not go a little bit too overzealous there. Let me see when Virtual Live is starting. I can give you an update. It's already finished. I missed it. Oh well. It must have been yesterday. I thought it was today. Doesn't really matter. We'll put that away. What was I saying? I guess I can do my Starlight Stage dailies because the days reset in Starlight Stage as well. What was I? Oh yeah, clean glasses. Like if you're one of those people who uses t-shirts or shirt, or God forbid a shirt to clean your glasses, I gotta say, I feel for you. Like t-shirt, okay, microfiber cloth always definitely at the top. Number 2 is actually a t-shirt. You might think it'd be like a tissue or something. Tissues are terrible at cleaning glasses. Well, in my opinion, they're pretty terrible at cleaning glasses. I would not do it unless, you know, really push came to shove. What's under a t-shirt? Really, anything under a t-shirt you should probably not be using anymore. A microfiber cloth is what you should use in first place because, you know, glasses tend to have this like lens scratch resistant stuff on top of them, right? When you don't really want to scratch off that protective coating, which you certainly can do if you're not all that careful about exactly what you're cleaning with. And, you know, I have definitely fell victim to that sort of thing. Because I have, in fact, used, like I used to, not I used to, sometimes when we go out, I tend to wear like jumpers and that sort of thing. And sometimes when we go out, I'll be like, oh, you know, I don't bring my glasses cloth. Why? Because I wear my glasses all the time. I don't really take them off, really, for any particular situation. And then I find, oh no, my glasses are getting dirty, I need to clean them, but I don't have a glasses cloth, and no one else has a glasses cloth, because either they're not wearing their glasses, or they didn't bring their glasses, or something like that. So I had to clean my glasses, and, you know, sometimes I use my jumper, and then, you know, that got kind of bad, because, as I've noticed with my current glasses, like, some of the protective, like, coating is starting to scratch off a bit, so I've stopped doing that. Sometimes when a pusher comes to shove and I'm outside, I will just be like to one of my friends, hey, can I use your t-shirt to clean my glasses? And I'll be like, sure, because, you know, we're kind of close friends. It's not that weird situation. But it's good because, you know, before I used to use jumpers, I guess jumpers, it's not like they're rough. And by the way, I'm talking about like cable knit. Not cable knit exactly, but, you know, the knitting in them is much more apparent. I'm not talking about like the very fine, fibrous sort of jumpers. And I feel like that definitely contributed it to scratching, but also it could just be wear and tear from wearing glasses all the time. To be honest, these glasses are quite old. I haven't had my prescription updated for quite a while now, and hopefully that's a good thing. As I say, your eyes tend to be more susceptible to changing prescription when you're younger. I don't think my prescription's changed much currently. If it has, it's changed very little because I can still see things fine. But it's always a thing. You'd never experience this if you don't need glasses. But the feeling of getting new glasses, being like, I can see things perfectly fine, and then you're like, wait, I can't actually see things perfectly fine. You put on those new glasses, which are actually changed to your new prescription, you're like, whoa, I can see everything so clearly now. That's unbelievable. And it's almost disorientating at first, because when I first put them on, I was just like, everything feels like it's so much closer to me than it actually is. Because when things are blurry, in my mind's eye, they're just like, oh, it's really far away, and maybe that's not really how it works. I'm just like, it's so crazy. Everything, I can almost touch it. And I actually felt like the ground was curving up into me whenever I looked, like, directly downwards. Which was a bit of a weird experience, but, you know, hey ho, there you go. She's a little too high and a little too low. But yeah, basically, like, take care of your glasses, I suppose. You don't particularly want to, like, damage them or anything which has some sort of protective coating on, you don't particularly want to damage, and I feel like glasses certainly are up there in those sort of categories that you need to be careful for. Of course, your mileage may vary, and maybe you wear contacts, in which case, I guess, don't damage your eyes. You don't really want to scratch your eyes or anything like that. But that only really happens if you're, like, particularly, not callous, but, like, particularly not as careful when you're putting in, like, contacts and things like that. Most of the time, I don't damage my eyes, I like to think. Hopefully I've never, like, you know, horribly damaged them and, like... Because, if anything, your eyes kind of have, like, a lens in front of them in the first place, don't they? Something like that. That's not quite how the biology works, don't quote me on it. But yeah, like, protect your eyes, I guess, is really the long and short of where I was going with this. Let me see what the water fountain is, and I'll deal with that starlight stage stuff later. Is this what? It's not a bird bath, is it? Oh, there it is, water fountain. Stone eye nuggets. It's not actually all that much, so we can do that quite easily. But yeah, I'll let you know how my Tartaglia pulls go in Genshin on Wednesday, I guess, because it'll happen on Tuesday evening. Is probably when I'll do it. Hopefully it'll go well. Hopefully better than Raiden pulls. But I think most things will be better than Raiden pulls, because that took 160 pulls, if you were just wondering. So that felt kind of sad. What are we doing? Put this stuff away. Get out of this stuff. Don't want you here anymore. Don't want you here anymore. Don't want you here anymore. What other missions can we do quickly? Well, we've got 5 minutes. We should listen to a KK Slider song. So let's craft this, chop some wood, sell the things, listen to a KK Slider song. I think is probably the best solution we can come up with right now. As for like some sort of rapid fire things we can get done. But yeah, microfiber cloth. I guess that's today's episode title. Amusingly, I've got 2 of them like right here. 2 of these like microfiber. Actually, I'm not sure if they're microfiber, but glasses cloths just like under my computer monitor. They're exactly the same like company, exactly the same color. Their logos actually change over the years, but one of them is really old and is like covered in dust and that sort of thing. And the other one's a much newer one, which I actually use to actually clean my stuff properly. I should probably run this through the washing machine. It's actually just like coated with dust, which is kind of like, you know, not really particularly what you want from something to clean dust in the first place. You kind of want the thing you're using to clean the dusty thing to be free of dust itself in the first place, otherwise you kind of run into the issue of, aren't you just going to make it dustier? It's like an old riddle, what gets wetter as it dries, and it's a towel. You know, it's got to go somewhere, the dust's got to go somewhere. We should, I guess, pick up seashells as well, if we can squeeze that in. If we got just enough time. I think we have enough time to do the seashells and wood and hopefully then sell the things. Seashells might not actually be possible, depending on how many seashells there are that we can find. How many? Sarah. Well, what's that Eurovision song? The French one in 2019, I think. I can't remember how it goes. That's not even a song I was singing. I was singing Que Sera Sera by what's her name? Edith Piaf or something? Piaf? That doesn't sound right. It's something along those lines. My brain can't put together those words, but that is what they are. That is what it is in my head. What's her name? Edith Piaf? The person who sang La Vie en Rose. Not Eyes One, mind you, the other people who sang La Vie en... Other person who sang La Vie en Rose. La Vie en Rose. It's my rose. Not that one. Not that one. The other one. I can't remember how it goes though. Perhaps how uncultured I am. Okay, it turns out we're just doing everything but the seashells because all of these things are things we can do immediately now. So I think we just won't do the seashells. We'll just sell the hot item. And then we'll listen to a KK Slider song and round off the episode here. Microfiber cloth. Get one. Or don't. I don't know. I guess you can kind of do what you want. It's not really up to me. I don't know, 8 minutes? I think maybe we can get enough seashells. Perhaps. Do we pick up the 2 here? We did. We need 7 more. 1, 2. I think if we're quick. It's not like I can run particularly any faster though. 3. 4 more. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, we can definitely do it in time. And then we'll round off this lovely episode with a KK Slider song, which is something we haven't often done. I forgot it was today because we had, of course, a fishing tourney yesterday, which is, I'm sure, very exciting for you if you've not participated in a while. 5 days until we get the Animal Crossing Direct. Well, hopefully we can get more information. Well, hopefully I will have a renaissance of content to actually talk about in the first place. Otherwise, it's sort of like, I'll be slowly fading away. Or that sort of thing. Okay, sell coconut juice, sell this, sell absolutely everything just so we can... Yes, we do need to sell that. And hopefully we can... we don't need to sell that. Hopefully we can make up 5,000 to get both missions at the same time. Much more than enough. I don't know what costs it much. I assume the giant clamshells, maybe? And I don't particularly know. Either way, we've got a lot of these things here. So that's easily done. And dusted. Well, to a certain extent. Let us go fly a kite up to the highest heights. Fly a kite and we'll send it soaring up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. While we go listen to a KK Slider song. Which I think we can, right? Oh, it's at 6. Okay, well, we'll just round this episode up here because it's half an hour anyway. So, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Deardarling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Deardarling Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time. Bye bye for now.